Hello. Welcome to Wanderlusting Lawyer. Today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different video. Lately I've been really enjoying the gear I love for hiking the Camino videos, and I think the timing's good because I know a lot of people are getting their gear right now as they plan for their upcoming spring and summer Caminos. But kind of in the same vein of preparation, I watch a lot of Camino videos as well by other creators. I love to hear their stories. I like to seek inspiration. There's so many routes I have never done, so I'm gathering information for myself for future Caminos. And so it just got me thinking, I think there's something that I view as very important, and if it's not important at all to you, don't continue with this video. But, well, y'all know if you watch my videos, it's really important to me to try to communicate in the language to the extent I can in the country I'm in. So I do speak Spanish, I do speak French, and I'm learning Portuguese. Hopefully my Portuguese will be at a conversational level when I finally get to do the Camino in Portugal. But that's not realistic for a lot of people, I know that. What I love seeing in all the Facebook Camino groups I'm a part of is when people say, I'd love to try to learn some Spanish or brush up on my rusty high school Spanish to be able to engage with locals and as a sign of respect. Because I totally agree. It's a complete sign of respect to make some effort to communicate in another language, but not everybody enjoys or considers themselves very great at learning languages. But one thing we can all do is try to pronounce something in the proper way, especially when it's a word you're going to be using all the time. So I'm going to give you guys some simple pronunciation tips in this video, keeping in mind I am not a native speaker. I will be the first to admit that. I am a native English speaker. That said, I've been speaking Spanish for over 2 decades now. I get complimented on my accent in Spanish and French constantly. I'm married to a French woman. I'm focusing on Spanish today. French will be next. But what I can do is, pronounce something in the way that is the most accurate I can, and then also give you options, if you feel a little bit silly saying it that way, just to sound a little more authentic, but also just to make sure you're understood. Because you can be saying a word and you didn't mess up any of the letters or anything in the word, but it's just not understandable. That's right, anyone in any language. So I'm going to just be going through some simple terms. Again, this is not like a Spanish lesson where I'm teaching you guys terms to use. I do have another video on that I'll post probably above or below, and I'll also write out the words I covered today below. This is more just how do I pronounce some common words that I'm going to see and that I'll probably have to say at least once when I'm doing the Camino, at least if I'm in Spain. So let's start with the main one. El Camino de Santiago, and if you want to finish, de Compostela. It's not the Camino, El Camino. That's not the rhythm at all in Spanish. It's el, look how open my mouth is, el, and then the L, your tongue does not come out. You're not saying L, like Laura, Liz, L. Your tongue stops right at the bony palate at the top of your mouth. And then Camino, not Camino like we would say in English. El Camino. I'm doing even if you don't want to say El Camino, stop saying Camino. I'm doing the Camino. That is going to be more understood, more native. And the city, where you may be arriving is not Santiago like we would do in English, in American English, dropping the T. It's Santiago. Santiago de Compostela. El Camino de Santiago de Compostela. So the next one is the typical route. Please, I'm begging you, if you learn one thing, do not call it the Camino Francés. It is not the Camino Francés. If you want to just say it kind of properly, say the Camino Francés. In Spain, it's El Camino Francés because with a lot of C's, they make what we would consider a TH sound. But even if you just stick with, if you want that middle ground, not El Camino Francés and not El Camino Francés, you can just say El Camino Francés. Francés. This R is not a heavily rolled R. It's just one one R. You just kind of want to make a little trill, a little sound like that with your tongue, again on that bony palate. El Camino Francés. Think of it as the R as a D, like the word were literally spelled Fdances, Francés. It sounds silly to us, but that's going to be more understandable than saying Francés, or definitely Francis. All right. Hello and goodbye. It's not hola, adios. It's hola. Hola. You see how round that is? Hola. And then adios. The D, we're not going to get too complicated here. It's almost like a light TH, like they, adios. If you want to think of it like that, it'll be great. But just at least adios, adios, right? Hola, adios. What are we? What are pilgrims? We're not peregrinos or peregrinas. We're that R again. Think of it as a D. Peregrino. I'm a peregrino, peregrina. Or just at least peregrino, peregrina. That'll go further than peregrino, peregrina. Another word with an R. R's are tricky in every language. It's not an albergue, alberge, albergue, albergue. Albergue, 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 albergue. That's your, if you are saying, Kate, you're crazy thinking I'm going to try to pronounce things like this, albergue. If you need to do the R, no worries, but those sounds are the ones you want to get. Albergue. What do you say when you see another pilgrim? Not buen camino, it's buen camino, buen camino. So yeah, not camino, camino. Buen camino. What are things that we drink, right? So agua, not, I think most people get this one pretty good, but un agua or una botella de agua, agua, not agua, agua, right? So it's a little subtle distinction between where we're emphasizing the word. Beer. Okay, this one's tough because it's got it's got a C and a Z, which both for this word become a TH sound for us. Una cerveza. You will be understood wonderfully, even if you feel like you're lisping and spitting everywhere. But even if you don't want to just try saying una cerveza, una cerveza. Again, treat that R as a D, cerveza, not cerveza. Una cerveza. Please, not por favor, por, P-O-D, por, if you want, por favor. That's going to be, I know it sounds silly, I know it sounds exaggerated, so hopefully I don't get any snide comments, because I really just want to help, but por favor, if you put two soft D's there, you're going to be understood more than just por favor. Of course, thank you. Gracias, if you want to say it with the Spanish accent. Gracias, right? Another, treat it as a D. G-D-A-C-I-A-S, gracias, and it'll come out great. And I should mention, so I'm saying Spanish, it's technically Castilian Spanish, Castellano. In multiple regions on the Caminos, there are other languages. There's Gallego in Galicia. There's the Euskera, I think it's pronounced, in the Basque region. So that's something to keep in mind. I'm not trying to sound inconsiderate. I'm just trying to address Castilian Spanish, which is what the majority of people you encounter will speak. And of course, there's Catalan in Catalonia, where Barcelona is. And then the last one I want to teach just for fun, it's not tortilla española, it's tortilla. So again, that R, T-O-R, treat it as a D, tortilla española, tortilla española. So that's all I got for you guys today. If you like this, if you want more, let me know what you want to learn how to pronounce better. Let me know your thoughts on this. What kind of efforts do you make? I'm sure there are people who carry a pad of paper and show that when they're at a cafe, or like in Spanish, or have something on their phone. But this is, like I said, this is important. This is near and dear to my heart. I think it's great to make an effort. You want to make sure you're understood. It'll reduce frustrations on both sides. So I hope you guys find this helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Buen Camino.